online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Ooh, creepy.
Yeah, I think that's the...
Is that the theme song? Steven came through with that, right? Welcome, guys, to the AfterBuzz After Show for The Last Ship, Season 2, Episode 3. It's not a rumor. I am your host, Kate Aquillano. You can find me on all social media at Kate Aquillano, and I am joined by my lovely co-host.
Hello, hi, I'm Monse Bolanos. You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Monse Bolanos, MonseBolanos. And to my left...
What's going on, guys? I'm Nicholas Grava. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Nicholas Grava.
And I'm Bobby DeMuro. Don't follow me anywhere on social media. That's a bad idea.
That's a lie. That is such a lie. Before we jump into episode 3, I just want to remind you guys to watch on youtube.com/AfterBuzz TV. For all your listening pleasures, you can tune into iTunes and SoundCloud. Before we get super detailed, I want first impressions of episode 3. Around the horn.
Better.
Better?
Better than last week. I was not very happy with last week. Because like we said, it didn't seem like the beginning of season 2. It was like the end of season 1.
I agree. I don't know if I liked it better, though. I loved although because I had just binge-watched the first season, it felt right to watch those 2 episodes.
Yeah.
They fell in line for me. And I can understand why at episode 3, this is why they didn't want to make this episode 1, because this is a slower, more establishing episode. Mm-hmm. So it made sense what they did. I do think there could have been maybe a better way to balance it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do one beautiful thing. They've done it 15 times. However many episodes they've been, I think there's one an episode. The montage at the end of every episode, you go through the emotions and the up and the down, and then you see everyone's reactions in their own little worlds, and the music plays, and there are no lines, and it's 5 seconds with this person, 5 seconds with this person. Those get me every time, no matter how I feel about the episode. They're shot really well. They tell the story in these very specific shots without anybody saying anything about each one of these people. They did it again today.
I noticed that with when Captain Chandler says goodbye to his family. I'm like, no one's talking, but we know exactly what's happening and what everyone feels like.
Yep.
CW shows are really good at doing that, I have to say. You go watch One Tree Hill, and they have great songs at the end.
Perfect.
I don't care what anybody says. They sum it up.
Before we go further forward for the people at home, if you want to send Nick congratulations on Twitter, he's getting his driver's permit next week. What's it?
I like CW shows
Listen,
too.
I'm just saying they do that too. We're gonna move on.
We're gonna move on.
Let's do that.
It's Not a Rumor opens with Patient Zero on the beach in Florida, and I kind of forgot about this dude. And does anyone know his name? Because I don't even want to know his name because he is wreaking havoc on the population.
Did you get a little Lost vibe with them? I know
on
they're
the
not.
Beach?
I know they're not isolated. Maybe it's just because of the beach, but it almost seems like a little community that's going to create itself, which all these communities are going to do.
Yeah.
But I got a little Lost vibe with that one, and I'm not sure I'm feeling it.
Well, until they all died on the beach.
Yeah, and then they all died.
Exactly.
And then you lost the
But
vibe.
just Patient Zero in general. He's going to do the renegade, the
Well,
Lost
that's my thing. What is his mission? Why is he here?
Yeah.
Because, he was on the Russian ship. We see that he takes that small Russian...
Niels? Niels.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still Patient Zero to me.
Yeah.
But he escapes the Russian ship. He's now in the U.S. What's his game plan?
I wouldn't trust him. I think it's to take down the ship and to be president eventually, to
He
run.
just wants to run it.
He
just wants
his
to run the show.
namesake. I think you're right on that, because even when he went to bring the original thing to his teacher, whoever that was that he met with in season 1, and he said, I did it, I'm different now, I've done this, it's all about him. So I do think that's what this is about too, and he's in the right place clearly with all these people that he's now joined.
Oh yeah.
Gosh.
I don't think these people should trust him. I know they're probably the dangerous ones. I wouldn't trust him.
But he has the secret. No one knows him, so it's they're gonna trust him. You don't know who this guy is.
Welcome to the post-apocalyptic world, friend.
I know.
Definitely don't want to live there. So let's go to the ship. Everyone is kind of reacting to what happened in Baltimore. Chandler, Burke, and Green clearing the White House. That was kind of a weird. I don't want to say cool scene, but like it was kind of cool. They're like in the White House.
Yeah.
Was it just because of Green? Just because of your boy Van Winkle?
I mean, I would
Have we
say that was one aspect.
Did you
of
mention
it.
that last week, or have we?
No,
should we talk
only
about this
you
now?
would rudely
I'm
add
just-
that to the
Can
conversation.
someone explain? I'd love to hear more.
I'm
about
just saying,
that.
Kate. I don't want to say Kate has a crush on Travis Van Winkle, but
But I have a crush on Travis Van Winkle.
And I respect that. I respect everything
Who
about
wouldn't have a
that.
crush on Danny Green?
He's so cute. I respect
Oh,
all
that's
that.
Danny. Okay, I'm
Oh.
saying who is.
She
okay,
is
that's
she is
Danny.
10 times pinker redder than your lipstick, Monse. That's all I'm saying.
It's weird when we were watching that
Sorry.
scene. She rewound and she kept going back to it. And I'm saying, why? I think we've heard this already.
Nick, do not lie. He did retweet me 3 times last week. Just want to say.
Are you mad? Are you mad that Lieutenant Foster has the baby? Are you upset
I
about
wouldn't.
that?
I wouldn't take it that far, Bobby, since that's a little inappropriate.
But yeah, that's pretty much how
I'm
she feels.
just curious. I just wanted to get it on the record. So we have it. Everybody knows it. We can move on.
Okay.
We need to know your biases.
Fine. Back
got
to the cure.
2 down, 1 to go. Watch out. You're next.
Oh God.
Bring it.
Bobby.
So they're trying to distribute this cure. Dr. Scott has this. I don't know who she's talking about. They've made 10,000 doses. They're planning on distributing it everywhere. The Baltimore lab helped them do this. But it's still like you have the cure, but there's still so much chaos.
Right.
Like, I don't know how, the cure's making a little dent, but I don't think that's going to be the cure was like the main part of season 1. I think it's more like the anarchists are going to be season 2.
When they started talking about the number of vaccines, and obviously they can make more, and they are, and that's the point of flying to like Wichita and these other places. But I started to wonder at what level, maybe this is too prediction-y, but at what level are they going to play God? Because this cult group, we're probably all watching collectively and saying, don't give those guys a cure. Those guys are weird. But honestly, can the new government, can the new Navy be like, you should have the cure, you shouldn't, you shouldn't?
No,
like, if
because
they're
that's-
outwardly bad, do you just cure them anyways?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. That's what we were just getting over at the end of season 1, where she was doing that, and I think they
Exactly.
all said that was wrong. And this new cult, they're immune. That's what I'm strongly
For sure.
feeling. But I do see what you're saying, and I think absolutely not. I think they will give the cure to anyone. There's no screening. It's like, here they are.
Yeah.
So you don't think there would be a moral play in this at all? I
No.
think
I mean,
almost
not
every
at this
episode
point.
is right
I
there.
think that'll be a discussion, but
Yeah.
I think that they always,
But I think that's
Okay.
like in the future. I don't think that's in the radar right now. I think anyone right now, what they're trying to do is just spread the cure.
Oh yeah, no, but I'm saying that just made me wonder. When you have this, you have the power.
Yeah.
How do you wield
Well,
it?
yeah, and we don't know what the future season has in store, but like, what if this cult and missionary people take all these labs out once, they were secret, but now we have planes landing at them
Right.
and like soldiers going into these places. Now they know the hot spots. What if they take all these out and there's no more equipment to make more of the cure? Then it has to be selective because there's only so many doses left.
I keep wondering, what if someone messes with the cure? You're transferring it to all these different places. What if someone alters it and it's now not a cure, but
Yeah.
another virus or hurting you,
Yeah, it
whatever
was a
it
very,
is.
very quick turnaround of trust. Oh, here's the cure.
Yeah.
We trust you. Go on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Hey,
quick.
it was the SEALs, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
They're very trustworthy people.
I know, but you don't know when they bring it to these facilities you don't know
that's
what's
true.
going to
All right,
happen.
well, let's talk about these facilities. So they discover in the data from the White House that there's this video from SecNav, and embedded in the video is codes for all these secret lab networks that they've kept intact, which that's kind of impressive
Right.
that they, after all this dying, that this is still established.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
I'm just happy they hacked those codes faster than the Cardinals. Am I right? They got in.
I got 2! She hasn't even gotten 1!
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
I just thought that was a given that they could hack the codes, and they didn't know, whatever, they could hack the computer. But something in season 1, that would have tripped them up, right? Because everything that went wrong could go wrong in season 1. And so, like, the computer being locked up would have tripped them up. And Chandler was like, hey, get the codes as fast as you can. And Kara was like, okay. And then we cut
Done.
scene, and they're like, well, the planes are flying to these places. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh.
Well,
So
and
you
then
got
we
One
see
less
that
thing.
like the soldier, they've arrived, but we don't really know what happened when they got there.
Yeah, that's
so
what I'm saying.
it's not. It could not have been successful.
It seemed shady when he was reading off everywhere that we see the beaker, we don't have contact with this. I'm saying, is there something about to happen? I don't know. I felt like I was leaning towards negative in that, but that could just be me pushing.
I think
it on
we'll
it.
definitely see both. Like probably some
Yeah.
were successful, some not so much.
Yeah.
Because did you also notice he said there's a network of most countries? The Secretary of Defense, Ray Mabus or whatever his name was like, if you're seeing this, you are part of the United States in a thing of most countries. Most?
Most, yeah.
So you're already
That's
telling
the
the
thing,
story.
like-
Yeah.
You're chipping away at this like massive thing. But let's talk. They're back in Norfolk, so a lot of the crew is based out of there. So therefore, their families are there. So they're gonna go try and find their families. We see Kara Foster with her mom.
Yep.
Emotional. Anyone
Yeah.
tear up?
I know,
Didn't.
but I thought the actress playing Kara did a real nice job.
She did.
Yeah, that was a
Really-
great scene with them too.
There's
Yeah.
different kinds of crying, and the specific kind of crying that she was doing, I was like, that's perfect.
It's
Yeah,
like
for
the
that
happy
moment.
cry.
Yes, I agree.
It's the
Yeah.
happy cry instead of like the forced, let me like squeeze it out of
The
here.
look, and I know she's a professional. They did 100. I get it, but just the
did a good
look.
job.
It was everything. The whole story was told in that look. I thought that was a really, really maybe like the nicest moment of this whole. show.
I feel like she has a lot of those.
Yeah.
She has a lot of where her look, her reaction, her eyes, her subtleties. It's like,
I mean, she gets to lock eyes with green all the time. Come on.
Oh, here we go.
Oh my god.
yep.
I mean,
She's still red.
He's all judging. He was like,
so judging.
yeah.
Okay, now let's go to a more sad turnout. Was with Garnett, the chief engineer. She goes to her house, can't find anything. She ends up going to the hospital and sees her husband and her daughter's name on the list that they have died.
I thought when she was explaining it and she said you see these names on the list and it just seems surreal. Like I could only imagine so accurate. You look at the name but you don't want to believe it.
Right.
Since you didn't see it, you don't see anything at that point.
Yeah.
It's proof, but not proof for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We had a successful finding in the family, obviously unsuccessful, and then we have Slattery, who it's still up in the air.
I don't know that I could have done what he did. I couldn't
No?
walk away not knowing yes or no and you're a detective. That's in you. It's your family. I don't know. I think you need to still get to the bottom of it.
I think it was really smart of him to leave those doses at the
Yeah,
house.
100%.
But he's the XO. He has to set an example for his crew.
Yeah. So are you saying that he shouldn't have gone back on the ship?
Morally, I'm happy he's on the ship, but like if I take it from an ego standpoint, if
That's
if
what-
that
okay.
was if that was my father, I'd
Yeah.
want him to come find me, and vice versa. If I'm the dad, I think I'd want to go find my family.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would look at it the other way, though. I think the scene of him and Chandler at the very end, when he turns to Chandler and says, "You mean I could have commanded my first
Yeah.
ship?" That tells you all you need to know, not only about their relationship, because it's kind of funny,
Yeah.
but also Slattery's point of view. It's almost like, I don't know where my family is. I'm a realist because I'm in the Navy and I've seen some crap. Let's
Yeah.
be real. They're probably dead. They might not be, let's hope. But you know what? I have another family on this ship.
Right.
Am I going to abandon
Yeah.
one for the other that's probably already gone? It's already been abandoned, and it's like 6 of one, half dozen of the other. And he's like, you know what? I know I have this family. I know we're going to do good on this ship. That's where
And
I'm
they're
at.
going to different places. It's not like he's going to stop looking.
Yeah.
They'll
But he's
Let's
leaving
just
the
hope
area.
his family isn't out there being like, "Oh, he's in the Navy, like he's gonna find us." No, he's getting on the boat. So don't hold your
we'll
breath.
see. I'm sure we'll cross that path in season 2. But let's go to Chandler. He has exactly that same inner monologue of, do I stay with them? Do I go back to the ship? And you actually, I would never thought I would hear him actually say, I'm resigning.
Did any of
I
us
didn't
believe
believe
it
it.
when he
Yeah.
said it though? Did
Shout out to Ashley.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we
Good
said.
call.
I know,
Yeah.
Ashley annoyed me so much when Sam was sick last episode. And I was like, Ashley, I love you.
Yeah.
20 minutes and then we're going. That's what
Yeah.
she was saying in the house. I'm like,
She's like, 20 minutes. I'm like,
"Be
sit
quiet."
still,
Yeah. You don't get it.
I'm like, you're 10 years old. But dude, you're the bomb right now because you convinced.
Right, it's
I mean,
true.
she pulled out the mom card.
Yeah.
I mean,
That really started to get. But then when he was raking leaves, it's like, really? World's falling apart. You're raking your lawn.
He's got stuff to do.
Yeah.
Priorities.
Yeah. it's-
One question for you guys. I don't know how y'all feel, but you're Noah and this is your arc too much?
I liked it.
I liked
Really?
it.
I did. I
Yeah.
liked it too.
Okay.
You
Was
just
he
like
hater?
it.
You felt
I
too
didn't.
much?
I didn't hate it. I just when it happened, it almost didn't register because I knew what the scene was about and I knew what he was going to end up doing. And so I'm taking notes and watching stuff. And about 2 minutes later, I was like, Noah?
No. Well, I mean, we were talking, like, basically he's the president, right?
Yeah.
He's like the highest in command.
As far as we know.
As far as we know.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. With the bunker, they've yet to confirm anything. And even I don't think anything's going to come out of that bunker at the White House.
Yeah.
But we really haven't heard anything. And he said we can't get in touch with them and we can't breach it. So we really don't know what's happening in there or what could be in there.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, that's maybe like the one unbelievable thing for me with this. And I know you have to suspend disbelief for the whole premise of the show. But the one unbelievable thing for me, they do a pretty good job of being realistic, I feel like. But the one thing is, with the military defense America has, and I know it's a virus and not an opponent, but still, with the resources we have, that the president and the cabinet couldn't get to NORAD, Camp David, any other secret place they have, and somebody really high up could still be alive. That's one thing where I'm like, we've got to see a significant, government operation.
The SecNav video was only 9 weeks ago, so
Yeah.
I mean...
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know
And he
if
looked
he's
in
alive.
good shape.
Yeah.
He was at
Right,
his
that's
desk.
true.
It wasn't in a bunker.
Yeah.
We still don't know. I mean, the president could be alive for all we know.
Somebody, just somebody.
Somebody.
Yeah, somebody.
Yes.
Exactly. Somebody like
Somebody.
that. Just because the resources they have. The first thing they would have done when this thing
It's
started
true.
spreading is say, you 15 dudes,
Go.
we're going this
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Let's jump to Dr. Scott. I like the scene she had with Tex.
Yes. So good.
When he revealed about his daughter. Did we know? We knew he had a daughter,
Yeah.
In
right?
the locket,
A
right?
picture, right? Yes, I was
Yeah.
gonna say a picture. He
But
showed a
she
picture.
just didn't know.
Yeah, she was very curious. She asked all these questions,
She
what
cares
you were
a lot.
doing, who you
they
went to
love each
see.
Other. They love each other. Come on.
Well, duh, but
But
yeah.
then who's this Michael character?
No, don't you remember she mentioned
remember.
it like briefly? I think
Here's
in the first
my
season.
thing. It's like she has this emotional thing about Michael. We could have seen a picture or two before, a couple episodes too, to start to build some. I didn't have any feelings towards it. Maybe I'm a cold person. Did you care? I saw the picture on her desk. I'm like, that's the first time I've seen Michael.
I think Michael is a device in season 1 was let's put him in there. It's going to cost us about 8 seconds of screen time to talk about him. And then let's see where this show goes. And the writers now in season 2 were like, we could use Michael. We couldn't. He was in China. Let's see what Dr. Scott and Tex.
Yeah.
And if they really like the chemistry between Dr. Scott and Chandler or
Yeah.
Dr. Scott and Tex or whomever,
No.
they can say, hey, we're not going to do the Michael thing. But
Right.
maybe they do bring him back.
All
You know,
right.
They know this. This has been canned already, but
Or
maybe that was a
I'm
decision.
on team Scott/Tex. So
Okay.
You like them together?
I like them together. You said Dr. Scott and Chandler, which we were
We
watching.
talked about it a lot in season 1.
We did, and
But-
I even said to. Remember what I said
Yeah.
when we were watching? That I was
What'd
like,
you say?
that will happen if Tex
If
dies.
Tex dies.
That will that will happen.
So you didn't watch it with us. There was a little moment between Quincy's wife
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
Mr. Chandler.
At the end of the episode today with the hand.
Even
Yeah.
before,
Even
in the
before
floor,
that, yeah.
when they were talking
Which
to
one?
the kids
Oh,
were
they were
fishing.
fishing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw a little connection. You know,
Oh,
she
But
lost
she's-
her husband. He lost his wife.
But she's sticking in Norfolk.
yes,
Yeah,
she's
so-
basically taking care of his
of
children.
his children. Yeah.
Maybe Grandpa and her get involved. I don't
Okay.
know. I'm just saying.
I don't see that happening. Doesn't ring.
No.
No.
Nah.
So another big part of this episode was this. We've mentioned it, but the cult, the missionaries.
Yeah.
Who are these people?
I feel like, okay, this is something that is sort of, I don't want to say frustrating, but I guess with the show is given is this constant new enemy that we have. It's like, let's seal up one, let's find another, let's seal up one. So yes, I get it. This is our new enemy, and this is probably going to be the person that we're fighting against the entire season.
Except for next week.
Why? I thought those were the pirates. I thought it was this
No.
clan.
No, but I still agree with you. I think that's going to be like the backstory
Yes.
that we'll have the whole season,
Like
and
the
then we're still
Russians.
going to have
And we're gonna get little
like
things.
a constant villain of the week.
Yeah.
Well, the pirates were fully loaded with those. Like they have some weapons. Like I don't think the ship has seen before.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It got frustrating because I'm just like, what is this? What it's going to be?
Right.
And like we kept saying, why? Okay, why are they going to stay on the ship? Like they are now at port. They are
Yeah.
here. Why they're on land? But we have a reason now.
So, do you think the whole cult, everyone's immune? Because
haven't-
they were near patient zero
Right.
and they didn't die.
Yeah, we can only assume that they have been with patient zero for several hours, not like 10 minutes. So they all have to be immune. I am just hoping that they are all from the same place. Like they all have a common factor that
Well,
makes them
they're,
immune.
like,
and that
they
they're
all
just
have
not
that
random.
accent.
Right. And that they're not just random and came together, you know?
I just find
But they
it-
have different accents. The leader has a different accent than that kind of
Than the-
southern redneck accent
Yeah,
from the
that's
other
true.
dude. But either way, the accents alone are supposed to indicate to us they're not from here.
They're
They're
not. Yeah.
different than,
Right.
So they're trying to be the superior race because they are immune to this virus. So
They're the chosen ones.
They're the chosen ones in their mind.
Yeah.
So do they, at the end he goes, the rumor about the ship with the cure is not a rumor.
Yeah.
Are they going to destroy the cure because they want everyone to die because they'll still live and then they'll be the superior race?
Yeah, I think that's their goal. That's what I saw as their goal is to not have the cure. They seemed unhappy about it. They were not happy. They were not like, oh, we have found it. The kid was like, oh, wait, it's real. They were concerned.
Yeah.
I would actually argue, and I have no basis for saying this, but just to play devil's advocate, I'll argue the other way. The cult leader's full of crap. He's talking a big game, and when it comes down to it, he's going to run. He's trying to get, money doesn't matter anymore in this society, but he's trying to get what everybody in those situations are trying to get through manipulation, influence, and power and things, and whatever it is. And I think at the end of the day, just like a lot of cult leaders, I won't say all, because I'm not 100% sure, but most, he's full of crap.
But when he's talking to the guy that was more southern accent, like on the side, he wasn't in front of everyone, he said, I know a lot of things. I feel like he has this network that he doesn't even want to share with his people, that maybe he has
more
in the know.
tune than
more secrets.
I think that's the thing is everyone is battle. No one's in power, so everyone's going to battle for that seat in power. So I don't know how willing he's going to be to give up. I do see that a lot of, I could go on that theory of a lot of people are kind of BSing, a lot of bark, no bite. But I think in this year, I think he's going to have some bite.
Okay.
All right.
And I think he has strong followers, and I think they'll have some bite.
Does he have the bite of the U.S. military?
No.
Yeah,
Nope.
that's the thing.
All right, let's go back to, just because the scene involves Danny Green.
Didn't see that coming.
No, at all.
No.
Why did Kara's mom have to kiss him on the lips? And how did she know about the baby?
She didn't know. How?
Mom's
Do you have anything? No.
My mom knew every time I did anything. She just knew if I
I
did
thought you were
school.
going to say she knew when I was pregnant.
Oh, no.
I thought you were going there too.
No, I have no kids. I just have a furry one. That's my size.
But how did she know?
I am not convinced she's not on the sauce.
Oh.
Let's be real.
I also did think that at one point, especially when they were bowling and she celebrated I don't know. I was like, oh, you're definitely not.
Let's
sober.
just. And I know maybe the daughter has seen it so long she can tell, and if the daughter didn't react to it, we shouldn't. But in these circumstances, with this stress, and her house is a mess, she's living in a bowling alley with no power, she met a new dude. You're not drinking if you have that demon to deal with in the first place.
But maybe it's just not available to her. We also have to think of the availability factor.
Well, that's true, but all of her bottles at home were empty, right?
Right.
And the implication they tried to give us was she poured them out or she gave them up or whatever.
I took it as she did it there, and she was chugging hard.
She was drunk for 4 weeks straight.
It's the only reason she got through it is what I thought.
That's where my head was,
Yeah.
but whatever.
Totally. I actually am with you, Bobby. I don't agree with you much all the time, but I don't agree with you on this one. I actually even thought that Foster had a look of when her mom introduced her to the new guy. I felt like Foster gave a look like, I'm not sure if you're...
But then Green comes over and was like, that's not the woman you described to me. And she goes, I know.
Yeah.
So,
I think she's clean right now.
She became a high-functioning alcoholic? I don't know.
I guess.
That's true.
Stress drives people. It's not funny, but I don't know. Stress drives people to things, and maybe she channeled it, and you can make the argument that she's clean because she's doing something important, and I get it, but I just guess I got to see it for myself. I don't think we're going to see her for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Were you surprised that Kara had that whole conversation, you didn't want to tell her because then if she asked her to stay, she would? Because we hear some others want to stay with their families. Were you surprised that Kara was like, no, I'm going to go back? Or she's just a main character that you're like, she has to be on the ship?
I'm like, she has to be on the ship, but I thought it was really honest of her to say if she does ask me, I can't say that I won't say yes.
Yeah. I didn't know that you couldn't be on a ship after
10 weeks.
20 weeks. 20 weeks.
20? Yeah.
Those rules are out the window now.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I feel like that's going to get blown out of the water when that comes.
Yeah.
But it's something, too, actually, to be said. I'm glad you brought that up, because Chandler, when the other three, Morales and whoever else it was, wanted to go home to their families, he was like, tell them they will be honorably discharged with full benefits, or whatever the thing was.
Yeah.
There are no benefits. There's no recognition. Nothing exists anymore.
Right.
But in his idea, he's still doing it, and it's important to do it. Even if it doesn't exist, just to have the order, he's creating the law and order that you need on that ship that will then translate off the ship.
Exactly.
Right. Without that, I kept thinking that during the whole first season. I'm saying it's like, what if just a lot of them band together and say we don't agree with your decisions?
Well, it almost happened.
Right.
And go in it, but in a negative way. Instead of just like we're gonna leave, but in a way like we're gonna take over from you.
Yeah.
Because what keeps him in power? Nothing except for the respect of his crew at the moment, and he does do a good job balancing that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I was just thinking of
his
how
monologues.
Yes, literally what I was thinking.
Oh,
of.
the one when
His monologues.
They got better this episode.
There was one that was really, really okay.
when he's addressing the pilots.
Yeah.
It didn't come over cheesy. It was very well.
Yeah, I was
really
saying,
well
I was like,
done.
usually I think he overdoes it a little bit, and it was very calm and normal, and it's like, oh,
Are you guys insulting Eric Dane?
he's so good looking that
I
I
would
don't want to
never.
say insulting. I would just say,
You're insulting him.
no.
Are you throwing shade at Eric Dane?
We love Eric
We
Dane.
love it. We
Love.
love McSteamy.
Okay.
McSteamy, you can come.
We're just a little critical of his monologue.
We just
sometimes.
expect a little more. That's all.
It's fine.
Yeah. We have
And
higher
then-
Let's
expectations.
move on
In
to
a different
what-
direction, I do want to say one thing that it was kind of shocking to see for me when I was just watching it was when he had all the Marines in front of his house, in front of and it was a neighborhood that we all can probably identify with. Just to see them in full gear and the tanks out, that always is weird for me to see because we always see war not at home, and then we see it right in front of a neighborhood that could be any of ours, and it was just an odd picture to watch.
That definitely was. I kind of thought that thing too.
Yeah.
I want to move on to Alicia because she was
Alicia.
huge in the first 2 episodes. Obviously, her mother was very bad. But she doesn't even want to go back to the ship at the end of the last episode. She's basically so embarrassed, even though I feel like no one on the crew will holds her
That's how
responsible
I feel.
at all.
Yeah.
She's still not talking to anyone. Jeter's trying to talk to him. She says that Kara hasn't even talked to her, but I don't even think Kara did that on purpose.
Yeah, I didn't think that either. I thought it was like, no, she's just got stuff
She's
to
got.
do.
She's busy.
She's
got.
got,
got
the
a
world
job.
is coming to an end. Calm down.
She's like, my bunkmate hasn't even talked to me. I'm like, she's kind of clearing some houses right
Yeah.
now, making
Yeah.
sure that people get
Keeping
like,
a
the cure.
baby alive in her body. Like, she's got stuff to do.
I mean, it was horrible what her mother did to Kara.
Right.
But she did
would
nothing.
never hold her responsible.
She did nothing but help the situation,
Right.
or at least fight for them. That's why it wasn't even like there was a 1 second where she was with her mother. So I don't understand how any of them could have that sort of idea of her. I don't know. I was shocked by that too.
In a weird way for the storyline for us as viewers, though, it's a good thing that she feels that way because it tells you about the relationships on the ship. And she feels so closely to them, and they feel all so closely to each other, and they work so well together that when this happens, she takes the brunt. It's like a sports team. When you mess up, you feel bad for the rest of your team. You're like, I let everybody down.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
this is her with that, and she didn't. But because she feels that way, it's actually a good thing because she knows that the rest of the ship is so tight. She doesn't want to mess up the tightness,
Right.
and she obviously didn't. But it took the episode for us to figure that out.
Yeah.
Right.
And I almost teared up at the last scene when they promote her to a full
Yeah.
lieutenant
Yeah,
because
that's good.
Foster's there and
I
she's like,
loved that.
hold up your right hand and starts, and then that leads into the monologue that Bobby was saying at the beginning. That
Or the
just hits-
montage.
The
yeah.
montage that it just hits you every time.
Yeah.
The music. It's
Yeah.
so good.
The CW stuff. It's great.
It all comes back to the CW.
Do you work for CW?
I don't. Wish I did.
Are
I
they-
would never think CW.
Right?
But the
No.
ending montage, I'm telling you
Michael
guys.
Bay, Vampire Diaries. What's on the CW? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Vampire
It
Diaries.
seems like you're very
Yeah.
familiar with the CW.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird that you
that-
just shot that out, Bobby. You getting your driver's permit too?
It's not with these tattoos. It's not gonna work on me, you guys.
Whoa.
I didn't say Eric Dane was a bad actor. Y'all did.
Nobody
did-
said that.
no
Those
one
words
said
were
that.
not said until that moment
You just
right
said that.
there.
I'm just trying to stir the pot.
All right. Well, last thoughts on episode 3 at all before we get into predictions?
Oh goodness, yeah. Give me a second.
Yeah.
You get it, just everyone look down at your
Yeah,
notes.
everyone
Look at
take
your
a
notes
second
real
and
quick. I
notes.
feel like I
Real
wrote.
quick, okay.
For some reason, now that the show has continued to sort of, pretty generously kill people off, I think it's not like we're really saving our main cat. Like, I guess we are, but there's a lot of death in the show.
There is a lot of
and
death.
my mind is just like, who's next?
I think sadly a main character will be
Yeah,
killed next
100%.
because
I think so, too.
I think there were 6 or 8 people were killed from the crew in the first 2 episodes in Baltimore. So I think that sadly someone big's
it's gonna have
gonna
to take
go.
a big hit.
Yeah.
I think it's Tex. I don't know. He's just the only one that's redundant. Sorry.
All right, we're moving into predictions, Steven.
Yeah.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Boom.
All right, keep going with that.
I just think I also think I'm wrong, but I think it has to be Tex because he's the only one that is sort of extra. He is, yes, he's a great fighter.
He serves a purpose, though.
A love purpose, is that it? Because other than that, yes, we have a lot of other fighters on the ship that can do his job. We don't have another doctor that's as good as her. We don't have another, commanding officer.
Mm-hmm.
They're each individual except for him. He's Tex.
Looking at it in the Last Ship world, you're correct. Looking at it on the television show world,
right.
Tex will not die, at least not for a long time, because he is the funny man. He is the humor.
True.
He's the moment.
Okay, that's a
levity.
good point.
And I know Chandler and Slattery are unintentionally funny, and it's funny to watch them try to be funny because they're two serious guys.
Yeah.
Right.
But Tex is the funny man. I believe the one to die is Jeter. Jeter is
he's one of my favorites.
I love him,
Here's
but
why.
I can see it.
Here's why. No,
Guys, I don't want to do this.
no personality by design.
you.
I'm not saying the actor doesn't. Charles Parnell. No personality by design. He's very, loyal and stuff. But we need Slattery. We obviously need Chandler. Jeter's that third really high up guy.
He
We
is.
don't know.
Inspiration. He has a purpose to be on the ship to inspire and lead.
I understand, but he's
His
also
death will lead them in his death.
He's the only one that Chandler can go to.
He's also a sympathetic enough character to where if he died, we wouldn't lose as much as if Slattery or somebody died, but we're gonna feel like crap.
We're
lose a
gonna
viewer.
feel
I would stop
every
watching.
minute of that.
You've been here for one episode, you can stop watching.
I am threatening for. He's one of my favorites. I love his
I mean, he
speeches.
almost died.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in the
I
first
know,
season,
yeah.
and I thought he was gonna die during that test
During the
thing,
trials?
the trials thing.
Yeah, that was rough. Jeter was my second person. My first person,
I gotta write this down to see who's right.
my first person that I think is gonna die, kind of for the same reasons that you're saying, is O'Connor. And one of my reasons is because last season we had Tommy Savas
Yes.
on the show, who was killed off.
Who's Cassetti?
Cassetti,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Cassetti, who's killed off, and he said a comment. He's like, right when they start kind of giving you a character is when they kill you.
And O'Connor was.
So
the
Connor
character.
is kind of a little bit in the spotlight. Like, we're getting to know him. The same thing that if we were to see him go, we would be a little hurt because he's been a hero doing crazy things. Even when he was at the bowling alley and they said O'Connor put the electricity back on. So I
That
think
served a purpose.
serves exactly. So I think we would hurt enough. Literally, what you're saying about Jeter, hurt enough to feel it, but be able to move on.
To move forwards.
Yeah.
I'm nervous about Burke too, Jocko
Yeah.
Sims and that thing.
Yes.
Only because I know in real life I know him, and we'll have him on this show. We should get him on this show this season.
sure.
Really cool dude. But he also, I'm looking at him logistically. He does Masters of Sex too. They film at the same time, and I'm worried that he's scheduling wise, and he's gonna say, you know what, because of what my character is, because of what Burke does, this is one that can go, and I'm worried they're gonna kill him. I hope they
Well,
don't.
and
But
he
it's similar to
was
O'Connor.
a huge part in 1 and 2, and he really was only in like one.
He was
scene.
just in the
Yeah.
White House for 2
Just
seconds.
in the White House.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was
Yeah.
interesting. All right, I don't know whose team I'm on for this. I don't want
Yikes.
anyone to die.
No, we can tell you who's not going to die in Kate's eyes, and that is Travis Van Winkle.
I mean, he would never die.
Lieutenant Green isn't obvious. He wouldn't die anyways because of the baby, but he's certainly not going to die because he's good looking enough to kill everyone else.
He is very, very.
I mean,
We
I'm not
got-
even
it's a good
gonna-
sh- it's
I'm
a
not
good
even gonna
show.
respond to this because he just wants a rise out of me, and he's not gonna get it.
She's getting red again.
We gotta go. It's a good show. A lot of eye man candy. You know,
He's fun to look at. Come on.
I mean, if looks could kill, Kate would not survive.
not at all. I would be sitting on this side by myself.
I wanted my own prediction.
Let's hear it.
And your prediction is?
I think that Quincy's wife. I don't even know her name.
Toffet, Miss Toffet, right? Quincy Toffet. His
I
wife.
just call her Quincy's
Miss
wife.
Toffet.
Okay.
I never went in that far to his last name.
Well, all right.
I think that Chandler and her are gonna have a little
Yeah.
romance.
Bow, chicka, wow, wow. Yeah, I see that happening.
But yeah, we have these pirates coming in. They're
Well,
just-
not really pirates. They thought they were
They
pirates.
What are they?
thought.
They're like paramilitary dudes, and they kind of had British-ish
Yeah.
accents.
Okay, here's my question though. The first season was all about everyone was trying to get the cure. What are they trying to get now? Just the power? Because the cure is being spread without like
Now it's power.
it's
And
just
control
power, right?
and just putting the world back together. I think returning
Gotcha.
civilization.
So, I have
back.
a question for you guys. Will people that have the cure, a dose of the cure, will patient 0 have any effect on them?
No.
No?
Because he was around the people.
Stuff like mutates.
Well,
and stuff.
that's another question: is does the virus end up mutating later, or does the cure run out? Like flu viruses and flu shots change every year.
Yeah,
because
when
the
you get
strains of it.
immune to it,
Yeah.
they change.
I would be disappointed if they brought back the virus. Personally, I don't know. I feel like we've conquered that storyline. But that is a fair question. It could. They could go with that.
The thing is, and why I was wondering earlier about giving the virus away like a moral thing with these 10,000 doses, when you put the world back together and struggle for power, you have all the battles and all that stuff that's going to be fun, but you also can struggle with every moral question about putting a society back together.
Yeah.
The virus is like, oh crap, there's a virus, must find a cure. It would be so disappointing because that's such a one-dimensional storyline, but all these deep moral questions you could have Chandler struggle with and all these characters struggle with about laws and rules and all, that would be fascinating. And you could do 10 seasons on that and it wouldn't get old.
Yeah.
If the virus kept coming back, it's like, okay.
Ain't nobody got time.
Yeah.
Nobody got time for that
that.
virus.
But yeah, but with that, with the control of like land, I don't see how it goes back to the ship. You know, they are the Navy. Is it just like they just keep circling around?
I think they're just going to keep
continental US?
traveling and trying to spread right now the cure and put the world back together and leave kind of like order. Like in areas, like they have to say, you know what, we're leaving. You're the president here. You're the president here. Like, and so that's how
Big
this,
shoes to.
Big shoes.
Yeah.
And they can't go inland. If they go to Wichita and they get stuck in Wichita, it's a slow road out. I mean, you have to stay on the ship because if the worst happens in New York or Boston, you just go out into the
that
into the
map
water.
that they have from the White House, the worst areas are on the coast. So I
Right.
mean, they just
Yeah.
need to stay.
And the further they go from the ship, the less power. The ship's the only thing that really keeps them powerful. Other than like, then they're just the Marines and the Corps. You know what I mean? They could be anywhere.
And I think they are always gonna like swoop back to Norfolk or some base to restock or you know, and that's when we're gonna get more action.
No question that the SEALs in Norfolk are good.
Yeah, no, I think they're good.
I
100%.
think they're good. Did you have a feeling that
No,
they
I was
were?
just wondering because we've seen this a lot of times.
Yeah.
I was just curious if there was any two-faced
I think
possibility.
because they were all automatically on the same plan with the planes and the cure that I feel like they were working together.
Okay.
Unless they're gonna have the battle for power. I don't know. Maybe they're the pirate. I don't know. Now I'm really getting out there.
All right. Any more predictions?
That's it.
All right. Good job, guys. Episode 3, I liked it.
Yes.
Where can the people find you guys on social media? Once more.
Twitter at Bobby DeMuro.
Twitter and Instagram at Nicholas Grava.
Twitter and Instagram at Monse Bolanos.
And Twitter and Instagram at Aquillano. Thanks for watching, guys. We will see you Monday of next week. Everyone have a really good happy 4th of July.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.